I think about stuff while I'm driving a lot, so I'm just going to put it down here. I had a good interaction with my father the other day, and what it was that he said something that I didn't particularly agree with, and I said, I just put a comment, said, hey, I love you, and but I don't particularly agree with that, and that might seem disrespectful, but here's the thing. In the past, I realized I would have just ignored it. I would have hit that little snooze button or mute button, and I just don't want to see what he has to say, the things that I don't agree with. And so what I realized was I was just being selfish. I'm being selfish when I do that, because what I said instead was that when I see something and I'm like, I just don't want to hear what that person says, I realize that I actually love my father enough to have an argument with him. I love him enough to not be walking away from him and not ignore him. If I disagree with something, I can just have a conversation with him. And you know what? It was fine. He loves me, I love him. So, but the thing is so many times in our life, especially right now when there's so many controversial things and so many people disagree about stuff, is what we do is we say, this person says stuff, I'm just not going to talk to them about that topic. And then eventually, that topic keeps coming up and you shut your mouth and you don't say anything, and that's fine because you don't want to start an argument. Because we're afraid. Why do we not want to start an argument? We don't want to start an argument because then it can turn into a fight. There can turn into bad feelings. You could hurt that relationship. You might not have that relationship. And it's really, you don't want to rock the boat because you don't want to ruin things. But instead, what you do is you go, okay, I'm going to be around this person, and then you shut your mouth, and then you don't get to be around people. And then maybe things still come up and you're like, you know what, I'm just not going to be around that person. I don't enjoy that I have to basically shut my mouth and not say and be who I want to be and actually, to have these conversations. So I'm just going to avoid that situation. And what you did then was you decided by yourself, without ever talking to the other person or asking them about it, you decided, I'm going to go ahead and ruin the relationship. I'm going to cut it off. And maybe you don't do that actively, but we all do it. We all do it. No matter what the situation is, I just recently stepped down from U staff, but it's not because I don't want to be around those people. I love those people, and I'm still going to be around those people. But I definitely had to keep my mouth shut on a lot of topics. I couldn't even post a thing like this, I don't feel, because, controversial topics or whatever, hey, you just don't upset people, you don't rock the boat, you don't want to start conflict, and I get that. But I actually feel like it's a little bit backwards. If you love someone and you want to keep them in your life, then when you have a conflict with them, you need to be able to talk about it. You need to be able to say, hey, you said something I don't particularly agree with. We need to talk about that. And you might not come to the same agreement, but one of you, there's always somebody, there's how it is. Like, my mom is a very outspoken person. She's very much like, the super political stuff, and she's not afraid to upset anybody. So there are a lot of people who just don't go around her and they choose not to interact with her instead of talking to her or confronting her. And you know what? The thing is absolutely, the fear is real. If you confront somebody, there's a possibility that they could take it wrong, and that it could wind up being that people have hard feelings. But see, I'm going to talk to people. And this is a fair warning to everybody in my life and my family and on my social media. If you bring up a conversation, bring up a topic, and it's important to me, I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm going to say, hey, I don't agree with that. And I love you, so we should talk about that, because that's something that you and I are different on. So, because I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that because otherwise, my other option is I'm just going to not listen to the things you say. I'm not going to interact with you. And I don't want to do that. I want to interact with people. I don't want to cut people out of my life just because they have a difference of opinion of me, because that's how you become very, very alone. And I don't see how you can love people by separating yourself from them. It goes against my Christian belief that I'm to love everyone. And if I'm separating myself from people because their beliefs are different from me, then I'm not loving that person. I'm just being selfish and keeping myself away and guarding myself and trying not to inconvenience myself by, addressing difficult topics. So, all right, I'm almost at work. These are things I think about in the car, and I normally don't have anybody to talk to about them because they could upset somebody. So, but that's fine. If you're upset, I love you. Talk to me about it, because I want to talk to you. I want to talk to my family, my friends. I don't want to be afraid to talk to you guys. All right. Love you. Bye.